Thanks for joining us.
Sure.
The Committee to Fix Washoe Schools has been a leader in a number of issues on the Washoe County School Board over the last 10 years. We've
Right.
advocated for a transparent superintendent selection process,
Oh,
including this last time in 2024, but also in 2019, 2010, and also in 2009. We're very much involved in the ongoing job of superintendent accountability.
mhm.
We were also involved in the AB 46 process for school construction that was before the county commission. That was about 12 years ago. We were also involved in the abolishment of screen rooms in the Washoe County School District. I don't know if you've ever heard of anything like that. That was a while ago. And we also are involved in this at the state level for good, strong education policies,
Right.
because they do a lot of that at the legislature and then turn it over to the school board.
Hmm.
And then we also advocate for some of the best candidates for the Washoe County School Board. Now, Monica, I'm just curious, did you run for the school board in the past? There's a couple of people who did run for the school board before this came up. Were you one of those people?
Yes, I ran for the school board, District G.
Okay, so that's the very big district that Diane Nicolette won.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's a huge district. Whereabouts in town are you?
Can you repeat again?
Yeah, what part of town are you in exactly?
Cold Spring.
Up in Cold Springs, up in
Right.
District St. Cold Springs there. Okay, good. All right. Well, we did reach out to all the candidates, and 5 of them had contact information. 3 people, we could not find any contact information whatsoever out there. One of them had a Facebook account, so we tried to reach out to him. That was James Phoenix.
Uh-huh.
And we did not get a response from him. And then we couldn't find anything on Philippe Escamilla, I believe it is.
Never hear about. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we did have Timothy Zisk's, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, phone number, but it was disconnected.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we're looking at the legislature this coming session is the appointment process.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime there's a resignation at a school board or a city council or a county, or I think the county commission, that's appointed by the governor, but at city councils, they are the ones who appoint. And that process is a little convoluted because they had 8 candidates, but there was really no way to get a hold of those 8 candidates if you were a member of the public. You really had to do some digging.
Mm.
In your case, Monica, we did we went to your C&E report from your campaign to get your phone number to reach out to you. But had it not been for that, there really wouldn't have been a way to reach out to you.
Excellent. Yeah.
Bruce Parks is supposed to be joining us, and so we're waiting on him. And then we're also waiting for Tamara Oswald. She said she might be a few minutes late. Talk a little bit about your campaign when you were running for District G. Monica, how did you get involved in politics, and what got you into jumping into the race for District G? Because that's a big district. And so was that the first political race you were ever in?
Yeah, in my life, I never was thinking to do this kind of running. Not for longer. That was 3 months, but that was everything. Is creating a new small business. I create my small business, and I know how is to create a small business. I put, bank account, everything, and then I was running everywhere. I called my attention here in Reno. It's 35% of the population are Latinos.
Oh, yeah.
This is my first language, Spanish, come from Chile. Second one is German.
Okay. Oh,
And
all right.
third one, sorry for the accent, is English. Yeah, and I was talking with them, no idea, somebody's running, and then is any candidate, they don't have an idea. And many people also disengage of the information that is really for primaries. We need to be engaged in all this information. change for the school. And definitely they told me, not just Latinos, everybody, we need to change this system because children are not learning, but actually start to be with little problems, learning problems already. So yeah, totally agree that we need to change something more than change public school. I think more than 10 years. I see number 50 of 50 states. I'm come from a long time from California, and it called my attention. I was really, I have 3 children, and
Okay.
grown children, 3 professional, university,
Mhm.
working already, and I'm really happy about. But I have a bachelor, a background in business, CPA.
Mhm.
But you know, if you want to do something really good, you have to be involved 100%. And I can say 80% of my life, everything was for them. So I could do just a small business, and I just give my lifetime for them. And I ran in 3 different experiences, and that's why. But I never was in political. Yeah, right
So
now,
that was your first political race.
right, exactly, here in Reno, Nevada.
Okay. Good. Well, it looks like Bruce Parks joined us. Are you in the call, Bruce? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
There we go. How you doing, sir? Welcome in. We're just waiting for Tamara Oswald. She said she might be a couple minutes late. Have you ever run for office, Bruce? I forget.
For public office? No.
For public office, yeah.
But I did apply the last time District C seat was open, and they
Okay.
were going to appoint somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I did apply for that position. They appointed Joe Rodriguez.
Okay, so this is the second time around for you in the appointment process. Now that's interesting. They appointed Joe Rodriguez, and then did he get reelected? I'm a little out of sync with that one.
Yes, he was appointed for the duration of the term that was vacated by his predecessor, whose name escapes me right now.
Mm-hmm.
However, he then subsequently ran for election, was elected to the seat, and now
he's the one who resigned because he said that's why we have another appointment process in District C.
Yep.
Well, that we were just talking about the need to address the appointment process in its entirety, because when the school district announced who was the 8 candidates, they redacted any way to get a hold of those people. And so there was no way to reach out to the 8 candidates who had applied for that, whether it was the press or the public or the Committee to Fix Washoe Schools. We were able to dig up contact info on 5 of those people. 3 of you responded. There seems like there has to be a little bit better way to get in touch with people if they're applying for a public position.
Well, it's normal practice for Washoe County, not just the school district, but if you're applying for library board, they will redact certain personal information from whatever you send in, resume, cover letter, whatever. They usually redact that kind of information. They'll leave your name, but your phone number, email, all that sort of stuff, they usually redact that.
Yeah, which again means only the school district can contact those people until the public meeting, and that to me is where the hitch is. Because if I have a question for a person who's applying for that, I don't get a chance to ask them that question. Only the school board gets to ask that question.
That is correct.
So I think that just needs to be addressed in the entire appointment process. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. We'll wait. We'll see when Tamara comes along. She can catch up. But I'd like both of you to kind of introduce yourselves and talk about your experience a little bit. Monica, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Sure, yes. As I say, I was having my bachelor degree in another country. I'm a CPA accounting, plus have a certification in small business in California, while I was totally involved in my children's learning. I'm sorry. Do you understand? My accent is okay for you? Do you
Oh yeah,
can
you're fine. Keep going. Yeah, I can
So I was
110%. I can totally understand.
wonderful.
Yeah, you're fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was prioritizing their education, my children's education, over my own career, despite holding my bachelor degree in business. I was in their formative years exposing them to multiple languages. We have 3 languages at home, so I know how deal with different languages. And then diverse schools, different style of learning. Not just, I mean, public school, because I couldn't speak very well English, but yes, I was introducing to looking some strategy, how you can learn better. So children, I was one, I don't know that you was reading part of my information in the background, but one of my children was with dyslexia. So I was asking for 3 years, 2 years school, if they can bring computers. And then, yeah, finally they brought the computer elementary school. And my child was learning with a connection with the computer reading program. He was high level in dyslexia, learning faster and hearing, listening. And my other one was super advanced. They don't have, school is super standard. So the another one was, we were looking another options. So charter school, public school was really working pretty good. So he was advancing faster. He was at the college helping and then university. So 22 finished bachelor. So I see another style of learning. Everybody has a different learning style. They don't mind. Language can disrupt, but if you look at strategy and different tools, you can really get faster children in the school. You don't need a budget really high, strong, but different system, how you can move your children in the learning process. And I have my daughter also. She, everybody has, my daughter, where she was coming from Germany, only speaking German and understanding Spanish, but only German. So I was looking at the school, elementary school, if any teacher speak German. So yeah, it was a teacher in 4th grade. So she was taking my daughter, and she was just interacting with children. So Spanish will be in this way a game for children. They don't need extra classes, but my daughter, German through English and then Spanish, she was in 3 months ready. So that shows me that, that is, I can say, my experience. Of course, my small business was a little slow in the process, but I finally got the small business. Right now, they want to build a small business 3 together. So yeah, all this experience help children to learn faster. And yeah, they see example of the family in the environment, the public school, and then they get the best if you really working with them closely. So as a parent, I think that we are really happy about the result. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, that's very good. Thank you. Bruce, go ahead. Why don't you go next? We're just getting Tamara in here right now. So why don't you go ahead, Bruce?
All righty. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Bruce Parks. I am a 20-plus year Army veteran. When I retired from the military, I went to school at East Carolina University, pursuing a degree in business education, which was eye-opening to say the least. I have recently retired from security work. The skills and abilities, I read your questions that you wanted us to answer as part of our introduction. Skills and abilities, the 2 primary skills. I would have to say organizational ability and leadership. I led soldiers in combat. I don't think there's anything that could be more challenging.
And the combat on a school board?
Yeah, well, there is that on occasion. However, I believe that the very first priority for our schools is academic achievement. There's no excuse for us being where we are at academically. I can't accept that. It needs to be fixed. But I think that the next biggest priority that needs to be addressed is the chronic absenteeism. We have on any given day anywhere from 30 to 60% of our students are not in the classroom. As we all know, not having an educated workforce available for industry that may be considering coming into Nevada is a huge problem. We don't have a workforce that's readily available. You don't have to take my word for it. When I worked security, it was out in the industrial park for Amazon. And I saw on a daily basis some of the repercussions of what our current, well, not just current, but for the last 3 decades, what has been going on with our schools and the impact it has had on economic development for Nevada as a whole. We can do much better, much better. And there's really no excuse for us not to. And I want to fix that.
All right, Bruce. Let's get Tamara in here. Is it Tamara or Tamara? I'm not sure about that one.
It's Tamara.
Hi, Tamara.
Hi.
Thanks very much for joining us. Give us a little introduction to yourself and tell us about your experience.
Okay, so I'm Tamara Oswald. I have a bachelor's degree in elementary education, a master's degree in special education, and I just earned a bachelor's degree in international ministry. And I'm currently working on a master's degree in ministry and business as well.
Wow.
I worked in the district for 8 years until I decided to open my own daycare. And I love kids, so I wanted to catch kids early and start teaching them to love to learn and to just really love to learn. So I used all kinds of different fun activities and things like that to get them to learn, and it just really did well. All of the kids that left me really exceeded in the district after they left my program. I enjoy it, but it is a lot of hours, 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. On the weekends, you're cleaning and buying groceries. And so it is a lot.
I don't think most people realize the day that goes into early education or daycare. I think it's a lot longer than 8 to 5.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But I also have my life coach certification. So I am specializing in marriage recovery. So, and that takes on a whole new set of skills. So as anybody knows, if they've been married. So I do have a lot of skill and background that would, I think would be beneficial in the education realm, because we do have, and I went through and I answered a lot of your questions. So this is kind of a little bit of an overview, as we need parents' involvement. We need them to be involved with their kids. But if they are so distraught over their marriage or what's going on in life, how can they be part of that? So I have kind of some ideas on how to incorporate them into the education system so that they feel that they are still empowered as a parent, and they are able to empower their children and not feeling like they're separate, but part of a whole.
Okay. Very good. Let's go over to Monica. Monica, what are the two most important issues that you want to bring to the school board to represent District C?
So, one of the reasons why I am running for the school board first, I have three bigs, but I'm going
Okay.
to. So right now, the public school in Nevada are ranking 50 of 50, as you say, too, in the United States of education. The state of Nevada is rated last in education level in the whole country. 35% of the students are at grade level math. 65% of the students are not. So 45% of the students are at grade level English, 55% not. Call my attention. So this situation does not prepare this new generation for higher paying jobs or many other jobs alternative. That is really sad. I was really running with my children, not to care of them when they're after high school finishing. If I'm elected, I will work with my first priority, improving the academic standard in Washoe County to a higher level ranking in the United States, at least half in the 20s. Introducing the United States Constitution from elementary school to high school level, the Constitution of the United States. This is my 10-year citizen, and I fall in love in the Constitution, and I really appreciate that it's the unique law here in the United States. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and then it gives you freedom mentally and trust, and then that is your country. Why not to have constitution in the United and in the public school? Back to the basics, the constitution and the rights, teaching the new generation to be smart and free, shaping them into capable leaders who will champion the truth and liberty in every sector of society. So as part of when you feel your children, your family, with this constitution, you are part of the family, that big family. You feel like it's different. It's not like it's another country. Especially for my friends Latinos here in Nevada and in Reno, and many German family also. If you are a citizen, you have this base as you know, the root of the Constitution is the Word of God. So it's my first part of my goals. Children, they have a root very strong in their life. So we can shape in them into capable leaders who will champion the truth and liberty. So the second one, public school are not focusing 100% in teaching the essential and basic themes such as writing, reading, and arithmetic academically. So they're not ready. I was taking many classes in the college to learn personal financial and to learn budget and to learn many things that public school can do. It's minimal, but start opening the mind of the children and have many more options and open. If I am elected, I will work with my second priority, provide transparency regarding academic programs and administrative accountability of resources and finances. By this way, we can use our limited budget wisely.
All right. Very good. Bruce, how about you? What are your two most important issues? I know you covered a little bit there in your opening, but what are the two most important issues you're going to bring to the seat of the school board to represent District C?
Well, as I see it, Todd, our school district has one mandate, one, to graduate students that are prepared for the future. Whether they choose to go on to college or join our workforce, whatever future they choose for themselves, it's our school district's job to prepare them for that. And it's my considered opinion that in that regard, we can do way better than we are doing. There is so much room for improvement. I have a lot of ideas how we can fix some of those issues. I would love to be able to work with the rest of the trustees to maybe implement some of those ideas if they are worth considering, or explore other avenues. But the bottom line is, I don't think that we are living up to that one mandate, as evidenced by the fact that barely 10% of our graduating students are able to even qualify to go on to higher education. That says a lot about where we're at and where we can go. So, towards that end, I believe our number one priority should be academic achievement. I go to these school board meetings. I've been somewhat of a critic, shall we say, uh, for many years, and I've brought this up on numerous occasions. You look at those agendas for the school board meetings, you're not going to find discussion about how to improve academic standing across the board for our students. It's not on the agendas. It's not discussed. So there's a lot of room for improvement there. That would be the number one thing that I believe we need to address: improving the academic standing of our students. And of course, as I said earlier, you can't teach a student that is not there. They got to have their butt in that seat for you to be able to reach them. The chronic absenteeism that we're seeing across the board for Washoe County School District is unacceptable. I have ideas how we can influence and correct that situation. It's not real complicated. There are easy solutions to some of these issues. Some might be a bit more complicated, but the issues are solvable. They're all solvable. If we can't find a solution here in Washoe County, then by all means, let's look elsewhere. How are other school districts achieving what they're achieving that we here in Washoe County are not? Are we looking at that? Is that something that's being explored? I think we need to look at that as well. When you compare us, Washoe County, to not only the rest of Nevada, but the rest of the country, it definitively demonstrates that there's vast room for improvement.
Okay, Mr. Parks, thank you. And how about you, Ms. Oswald? What are the two most important issues you're going to bring to the district seat?
Well, the first one that I want to bring up is bullying. We've had a lot of kids being bullied in our area up here, particularly on the school bus. To get off the school bus and then there's fighting and things like that. So I would like to bring up that. I'm not sure how it all works out, but I would like to also bring that we need to look at the whole child. We do need to have academic success with our kids, but if we're not looking at the basic needs of each child, which means emotional, physical, and social, then we're not able to get into the child and help that child progress. So looking at, I think a lot of times people like to push at the numbers, and we have all of these testings that prove that the kids are progressing in this area or that area. That doesn't tell you what the kid is doing inside. So I know we have the social emotional learning, having a support system for that, and a support system for the teachers. So my second one is the support system for the teachers, because they're human, right? And we go in and we have 20, 30 little children that have their own things going on. And then we have a teacher that comes in and is expected to be perfect in every way. So having a support system that can help that teacher talk about what's going on, to keep her calm or keep him calm in a in an environment that can be chaotic if we're not careful, right? Because we're human. Nobody's perfect. So support system for the teachers, the bullying, and the support system for the children.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Let's go back to Monica. The next one is, what are the 2 best skills that you bring to the Washoe County School Board? The school board touches a lot of different things: finances, operations, behavior. There's a lot that goes into the policies, and of course, their number one job is the hiring and management of the school superintendent. Monica, what are your 2 biggest skills that you're going to be bringing to the school board?
Yes.
2 best skills.
Perfect. I see that it's a big problem for, when I was asking why it is easy, but at the same time I don't understand why they cannot understand just planning a budget and organizing and removing some program. They are not going to help the children and growing in all the ways academically. So the best is prepare and planning, analyzing strategically a new budget where is programs where children are going to be using successfully. The example was my son with dyslexia. They put 2 rooms with 3 or 4, starting with 3 or 4 computer. They can listen, and that was these children. They grow 3 classes ahead because just they were learning in this process. So that is just a small example. One thing I saw in my child, I can see in many children, they have double language, 2 languages, especially that is one of my skills, connecting families and see what is the problem with them. Because they say language, I cannot, parents and children, they totally separate the mind. They don't know what is the homework. They don't know if they can help. So if we can encourage and connect parents, helping in some way. I was helping in the school, after school, my child. No parent was really volunteer for this job. That was easy. I mean, I was just chaperoning the children, taking care of the children for 1 year, and then making sure the 1 hour they were listening, headphone, the reading, they can learn, and then they not be distracted, and that was easy. So things like encouraging parents to be together after school with children, learning academically, that is a program, has to be in the budget. Yes, these 2 things for me is going to be totally easy. Accounting program has to be strong in planning financially. Where is going the money, and what is the budget, and we're going to use efficiently. And parents involved after school and from my viewpoint, I was talking with many families when I was running for District G, and they say we cannot even talk with our children after. It's this total disconnection, and they don't know what is happening. We want to be made sure these parents know this is a way that children can help another children. Another son, I have another son, he was in an extra helping another children. He was advancing in the college, helping also. He was in high school, charter public school, helping children. They were teenagers in the college. But that is another way, and doesn't cost a lot of money. So we can connect all these monies, resources, tools, ideas, planning together, and then, we don't need really, if something is not working, remove the money from this project and put in another project brand new, because it's not eternal. Money is one thing, but I don't think that it's going to be cost too much money to really teach these children to be successful. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Parks, what are your two best skills that you're going to bring to the Washoe County School Board?
Well, I can give you a pretty comprehensive list, but I'm going to start with leadership because that's what one of the requisite skills that anybody that sits on that board of trustees must have. Now, does that mean that they're going to be out there leading troops in combat? Well, to a greater or lesser degree, sometimes. We know what those school classrooms can be like on occasion. But all that aside, if you couple my organizational abilities with the leadership skills, it's a pretty good package to have on your side. I didn't go into all the different abilities that I've accrued over the years. I'm a certified parliamentarian. I ran my own business. There's a myriad of other things that have gotten me to where I am today. But the two most important skills that I bring to the table are leadership and organizational ability.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Parks. How about you, Ms. Oswald? What are the two best skills that you're going to be bringing to the Washoe County School Board?
All right. So the first skill that I have is communication. I have very well with families. I work very well with families, helping them interact with each other. As a marriage coach, you kind of get good at that. I have ideas on how to influence that family participation that Monica was talking about, and bringing that into the mix, I think would help with a lot of the family dynamic and the schools. Like she was saying that they didn't allow the teachers or the parents to talk to the kids after school or something. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. But that we would
Well,
have,
my experience has been kids come home and they're tough to talk to, especially teenagers or even middle schoolers, because they are in their own worlds at that point, and so they don't. Parents sometimes are disconnected at that point, around the 8th grade.
right. Well, I think it actually starts when they hit middle school.
Yeah, okay, 6th, yeah.
And depending on the relationship you have and what kind of information that those kids are exposed to is a big too.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's a whole nother conversation. So having that education for parents is going to be such a great, I think, a great addition to our district. I don't know how much of that I can get through on the school board, but I think I would be really good about talking to people individually and as a group to intertwine that. You were talking about you said the different areas. So you said for financial, I had to go get a blanket because I was cold, so I didn't hear all what you said.
Yeah, so, school board members cover a lot of different decisions when it comes to developing policy or passing different procedures. And those cover things like budget, operations, zoning, bus routes. The list is immense. Most trustees, when they get on the school board, are a little overwhelmed when they realize how deep it goes. School construction is a whole other conversation, or rehabilitating or replacing. And so, that's why I was kind of trying to get to what are the two best skills that each of you might bring to the school board to solve, because not everybody is going to have the skills to do every single one of those.
Right. And so partnering with each other to help in those areas I think would be beneficial. So the communication again, and being able to honor each other's differences.
Mm-hmm.
I've run my own business, and I've been married for 32 years, and I've done all of the books for that. I've put together field trips, fundraising. There's all kinds of different things that skills that I've had that can help with the financial part of it.
Mhm.
The biggest skill I think would be to the communication, working together, and the engagement with each other.
Mhm. Before we get to the last question, I'm just curious, if you look at the agenda item at the school district for tomorrow's meeting, it says, review and discussion by the Board of Trustees, and then a decision on picking up to 5, but they could just pick 1 or 2 or none. Did the school district indicate, do each of you get a chance to speak tomorrow at that meeting for a period of time?
They said we have a 5-minute thing, but it's
Okay.
not tomorrow. It's supposed to be on the 14th, was what my understanding was.
Right. So they're gonna, but that's right. So the group of you tomorrow in the 8, I don't know that we're actually going to hear from any of you tomorrow. They're going to decide tomorrow out of the 8, maybe 5, maybe 3, maybe 2. And then those people will get to speak for 5 minutes on the 14th. Do any of you understand something different, Mr. Parks or Ms. Lehman?
Well, that is my understanding as well. Now,
Okay.
whether or not we have an opportunity to speak tomorrow, I don't think it would be in the trustees' best interest to have all the candidates show up and not at least ask some questions of them.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. The agenda item doesn't say that. It just says they may select, and then they list all the candidates, and it just says review and discussion by the Board of Trustees. But I would think if they give one of you the chance to speak, then everybody has to have the opportunity to speak. And so that's why I was curious. Did they tell any of you, will you be speaking tomorrow?
No, and I mean, Mr. Parks has a point. We have 8 of us there. How are they going to choose between the 8 of us of whether or not 5 or 2 or 3 are going to go on if we don't talk?
Well, I don't know. I think they were going to do it based on your submission, the documents you submitted, and your based on that. I believe when they do this, there is a bit of a nomination process. In other words, they're going to, call out a name, and they're going to take votes of, who should make it to next week. And, how they got, Mr. Parks had a good point about this. They kind of get to make up their own rules on this one, and I'm sure they'll tell us what that is at tomorrow's meeting. But then after that, those people would be interviewed. So I was just curious if any of you had been told anything else as far as speaking tomorrow on the 7th.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be there. So I guess that's when we'll find out. Okay. My last question is, and this is for all 3 of you, and let's start with you, Monica. If you do get the appointment to District C, are you planning on running in the 2026 election?
Well, if I'm elected,
if you're appointed to the District C seat on the 14th, would you then also be running in 2026 for that seat?
I mean, I was running for District G, and it's many things that's happening before we are elected. So it's really, how can I say, it's a double movie. We can do something, say something, whatever we want to do, and decisions are made in another fact, and we have another kind of system moving in another, I can say maybe program. And if the people are going to decide, really the people in general, I trust in the people, with the people, I'm not going to run for 26, losing my money for nothing. And at the time was a lot of machine, and I'm not sure that was really, but it's worth it if really we can do for something for these children. In reality, if we can do really, in some ways, a miracle that somebody who can really work for these children and change the system in 2 years, I don't need to run in for 26 because they're changing right now the system and helping all these children. It's really hurt my heart to see how this wrong system is making damaging this new generation. And but if I see that as I have hope, not me, but the children, and it starts changing the system, and we can get these children bringing up and start, changing the system in some way. I maybe yes, but right now, I'm not. I thinking no, I'm not going to running for 2026.
Okay, thank you very much. How about you, Mr. Parks? Are you going to be running for District C in 2026 if you get appointed to the seat?
Listen, get it to me. I'm gonna say, of course I would run.
Okay, so that's a yes. You would run if you were appointed.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. And how about you, Ms. Oswald? Would you be running in 2026 if you're appointed to the District C seat at the Washoe County School Board?
Yeah, I thought about it. I thought about running in 2026, and I think that I would make a absolutely wonderful candidate to run. So yes, I would run
Okay.
for 2026.
All right. I want to give you all the opportunity to any closing thoughts or comments, and let's start with you, Ms. Lehman. Do you have any thoughts or comments just to wrap it up tonight? I just want to give you the opportunity to make any kind of statement at the end here. Monica. Are you still there, Monica?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
okay.
try to unmute and unmute you.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Unmute. Yes. So I see three things for me, and then one of Miss Lady Tamara was talking about the teachers, and right now I see what I see is teachers are waiting their time to work. Actually, what we see is this teacher, if I'm elected, I want to protect the professional integrity of these teachers. I want to retain and retrain them according to their own specialization. So teacher, if they're going to teach history or teaching math, they're coming to teach their subject, right? So I want to make sure if I'm going to appoint it and I'm working and elected, that these teachers are going to work and make it their contract to teach their subject, and they're going to be proud of what they do in helping these children. I want to, when they're working, to is connecting all the system, teachers with children and parents, and the staff and the school in the same body, mind, and spirit. We can say that they bring all these 50 states academically to a high level ranking, and to be one of the successful states in the nation. It is no point to be really the 50 or 50 from 10 more years. So I have the hope. I really believe that somebody's coming. I'm not sure I am going to be. I want to be, but if it's somebody extra with more, all these we can say talent and skills that really see the complete panel. And bring everything together with a really strong leadership. I want and I pray for this person to be really the strong one, be the new in District C, not just District C, but we start, connecting all the dots with all the districts in Washoe County. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Todd.
Okay, well, yeah, hang on one second. Thank you very much. How about you, Mr. Parks? Any little closing thoughts here before we go?
Well, first of all, I want to matter who gets selected for this job, they're going to have to do a lot of work. There's a lot of work to be done. There's so much room for improvement, and no matter who gets appointed, it's my most fervent hope that they will put in the work to improve the academic standing and the preparation of our kids for the future that they choose. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is, not just for that student's family, but for the school district, for our community, for Washoe County, for the state of Nevada, and ultimately for this country.
All right. Thank you very much. And Ms. Oswald, do you have any closing thoughts or ideas for us before we go?
I do. Thank you.
Go ahead.
First of all, I want to say thank you. I know this is a pretty informal situation, but it's great for us to get our thoughts together. And so I thank you for hosting this.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a push for the preschools. I've been told recently, I don't know how big it is, but they want to take Stead Elementary and make it into a huge preschool as they build the next one. So I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking of how well my kids did in my preschool. And I would like to take that knowledge and that heart that I have and help put that into the new preschool that they're putting up here. And I think when we get the kids at a young age to learn to love learning, and we get the parents when their kids are young, and teach them that they have the ability to be a part of their learning, then it just makes a better community. And as they grow in that community, it makes a stronger community where kids feel safe to learn, parents feel safe to help their kids learn. The doubt isn't there as much, the guilt. And it builds to where by the time they get to high school, we have independent learners who are empowered in themselves to be leaders in the community. So getting back to the basics, going down to the basics, is how we're going to improve our standing in the country. And that's where I'd like to leave that.
All right. Well, listen, thank you all very much. I really appreciate you all coming and joining us here on the Education Express. I agree. I think it's good to have an informal conversation and for people in the public to get a feel for what each of you is like and what you may be like as a board member. And I'm not convinced 5 minutes is enough to get that feel in a public meeting. I think it needs to go a little deeper than that. So I really appreciate all three of you coming here on the Education Express to share your thoughts about the District C seat. And good luck to all of you tomorrow.
Thank you. Todd, are we able to ask, so I noticed that you're pretty much the advocate for the district, right, for the school board is...
Mm-hmm. No, we're a separate private group. The Committee to Fix Washoe Schools is a private group of members who advocates for all kinds of things at the school district. We don't always agree. We do get involved in elections. We do get involved in policy discussions. And then we also participate at the Nevada legislature when it comes to some of the legislation that goes on when it pertains to education. This year, we're going to be doing these Education Express calls, these Zoom webinars. And I think that's going to be really good. We're going to be doing them Monday night at 7 p.m. before the board meetings. And we're going to be covering everything that's on the agenda, what it's about. A lot of times you read these agendas and you're just like, what is this about? What are they actually talking about? What is the decision they're actually going to make? And we're going to spend some time on those agenda items. and bring people in to talk about it, experts on the topic, and really flesh it out. We're also going to give people in the call an opportunity to speak up, just like you three did here tonight. Right now, we've got a special 50% off. You just use the code letter C, because it's District C. Right now, I've got 100 spots on that call at that price. But we think that's going to be something really new in 2025, is just having that weekly call right before the school board meeting to talk about all those issues. And I think the community is going to be a lot more informed, because what happens now? People watch the meeting after the fact, after the decisions have been made, and are really kind of caught off guard by all of that. And so we want to kind of get in there beforehand and flesh those issues out before the meeting ever happens. So you really get a really good idea of what the Washoe County School Board is going to do before they do it.
So, and would they have influence on that with these and meetings, or it's just informative?
Well, the idea of so we kind of do two functions. We do information, and then we also do mobilization. And so, yeah, you could see a group of people from the committee speaking at the board meetings on a particular issue. Absolutely. I've done that a number of times this year. Well, I guess it's last year now, but last year when it came to selecting the superintendent, initially they were kind of doing it out of the lane. Staff had made decisions before the first meeting that really the trustees should have made. And who gave them that direction? Well, we never got an answer to that question. But once we got to the second meeting, they got back to where they were supposed to be. We advocated for a local superintendent. That's who they eventually appointed. And so at the end of that process, we were pretty satisfied. But at that first meeting, there was a lot of question marks. And it seemed like only a couple people in the room actually knew what was going on, and everybody else was kind of, in the background. That's not the only time that's happened, or the only issue that's happened on. And I think here at the Committee to Fix Washoe Schools, we want to get ahead of that curve by having that Monday night meeting at 7 p.m.
So I love that.
For saying that. Gonna cut the video right there.
Oh, it's very interesting. Yeah. So I would love to actually jump on one of your webinars and check it out.
So anyway, we are going to do another free one next week to whoever comes out of the meeting tomorrow as a finalist. We're going to invite them to a similar discussion next Monday, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, thank you for inviting us to this one.
Absolutely. We'll see you all tomorrow at the meeting. I'll be there. And once again, thank you all very much for participating. Monica, Mr. Parks, thank you all very much. Appreciate it.